Hi everyone and welcome to Jaggu Studio. I am Ahmed and in this series we are going to create a detailed game ready X. We will be going from the base mesh, sculpting, making normal maps, roughness maps and texture painting, going through all the steps needed to create a detailed and high-end weapon. I am trying to make this series beginner friendly as possible, but it's possibly a more like a intermediate tutorial. So in this particular episode we are looking on the base mesh, uh, in this case bringing in a reference image, and we are going to trace it, and then we are going to ready it for sculpting later on for more details. So without wasting any time, let's get into this tutorial. Okay, so first of all we want an image reference, because without image reference your hammer will look like this if you guys don't have a reference. So everything you guys are going to create a model. First go on Pinterest or any other website that you guys want and grab a lot of references of it, or if you guys can create your own references you guys can create. So in this case I want an reference image of an X. So I searched here on Pinterest and I've got a lot of reference images that we can use to create our model. And where is the one that I chose earlier? I don't know where it goes. Anyways, so if you guys want this reference image that I'm going to use in this video, you guys can get it from the link in the description. So I'm just going to paste it here, and now I'm going to reset its position by pressing Alt G and Alt R to reset the rotation, and then I'm going to rotate on x-axis by 90 degrees. So for this part, this wooden part, I'm going to use a cylinder, and for this part I'm going to use a plane. So to start with, first of all I'm going to place my 3D cursor here, and now press shift plus A, come to mesh and add a cylinder. Then come here on this menu, click on it to open this menu, and change the vertex count. At the moment it's 32, which is far more detailed we need. We are going to go reasonably high poly for a game object, and possibly a bit more than might be necessary for maybe a portfolio piece or something like that, but 32 is way more than we need, so we can bring that down to something like 16. I'm always choosing something that's divisible by 4. Then we can cut it into quarters if we need to, and certainly something you want to be able to cut in half, because the x is fairly symmetrical across the y-axis, so we can use that to our advantage. So we have got 16 here, which is good, and now let's scale it down to something like this. Okay, so let's start by rotating it to match the rotation of our main object. Now as to now we can go into edit mode and maybe enable x-ray, and maybe toggle x-ray view mode so that we can see our reference as well. And now I'm going to hold, and now I'm going to select the top face, this top face, and then now I'm going to extrude it, E to extrude, R to rotate, and I'm going to match it with the reference. S to scale, R to rotate. Just start tracing it along the reference image. Let's just start by tracing it again. Now you guys can see from here the distance in between each of my loop, it's fairly big at the moment. I can always add topology if I need to, just by pressing Ctrl plus R, and then I'm going to change its position here, maybe rotate it, scale it, or maybe change its position. But for the most part, start off fairly low poly, and you can always add more topology later on. Now now here now there is a drastic movement in shape. You guys can see here I am not aligned with the shape here. Then definitely we need to add another loop cut here to align it. By pressing Ctrl plus R, add a loop cut here, G twice to move that edge, and then we can scale it down and start adjusting our shape. Now we need to start tracing it again, just like before. And now let's just start tracing it on the bottom as well. So I think that's fine. And now let's see it from the other angles. So I'm just going to press GY and place it here, and I'm going to disable X-ray view mode to see my object. Now let's have a look. Now where I have scaled in, you guys can see here it's thinner, and that probably doesn't really work, so we need to adjust it from this side as well. But before we do that, let's add our mirror modifier so it mirrors across the y-axis like this. Now now you guys can go into edit mode, press 3 to come to the side view, and you guys can enable X-ray view mode, and then you guys have to select the half side of it just like this, and then press X on your keyboard and delete these faces. Now we can delete these faces, and then we can add a mirror modifier here. Add a modifier mirror, and we want it to mirror on the y-axis, so make sure to click on Y and click on X to disable the x-axis, and then make sure to click then make sure to enable clipping. And now just select these faces, then press F on your keyboard to fill it. Make sure to do the same thing on the bottom side as well. Just select these edges, press F on your keyboard to fill it. Now we can go to the side view and start adjusting this to make it even. And here in the on the bottom part, I'm going to scale it on the y-axis to something around here, maybe that's okay, I think. Yes. Okay, so now let's start by creating this part of our mesh. So I'm going to press shift plus A and add a plane here, and I am going to place it somewhere around here, and then I can press RX 90 to rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis, and then I am going to place it somewhere around here. And now we can start modeling this part here. So first of all, I'm going to scale it down, and we are going to start from the middle here. Now let's just go into edit mode and start moving these vertices. So now let's start by extruding it on this side. To extrude, and I am moving them. And for now I am not going to trace it something like this, like these damage parts. We can add this damage part later when we are moving on sculpting. We can do this in sculpt mode. So first of all, I'm going to create a base model here. Now let's just start extruding it from on this side as well, and I'm going to bring this vert down something around here, and I'm going to place this one here. Maybe we can bring this one down as well, and yeah, that's okay. And now let's start extruding it again. And now we need more topology here, otherwise it will go just flat here. So now let's add a loop cut here and start extruding it. And now we need some more topology here. So here, if you guys press Ctrl plus R, you guys can see we can't add loop cut here because in this side it's making it worse. On this side it's making the topology worse here on this side. So what we can do is, instead we can press K to get the knife tool, and then we can come here and we can add some loop cuts, something like this. Then I'm going to press enter to confirm the action, and I'm going to place it here. Now we need to do the same thing on the other side, something around here. And now if you guys want to make the topology in quads, what we can do is just select this edge, press X on your keyboard, and then click on dissolve edge, and we'll get a quad here. And now let's just start placing them according to the plate. And now we can disable X-ray view mode to see our base mesh. And now we have got a basic shape of X here, and in the next session I'll be talking about how to add more detail in here and make it solid. I'm going to upload the next session tomorrow at the same time. You guys can watch the second part of it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, peace out.